Welcome to another Knicks Nation post-game show. Appreciate every single one of you hopping in here for another Knicks Nation post-game after another New York Knicks victory. Another victory in the books for your New York Knicks. That is now 6 straight wins for the squad as the New York Knicks just keep on rolling. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Appreciate every single one of you. Boy, oh boy. Nice gritty win today on a Friday night Knicks. And the way this game opened up, tough. Magic, we're trying to out physical the Knicks all game long. Referees were trying to take control of this basketball game. You got Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs with his shenanigans. Try to be tough. Try to take Cat out the game. Cat foul trouble. Yada, yada, yada. 2-0 in Orlando. 3-0 versus Orlando on the season. As the New York Knicks just continue to play extremely well. And this was what? Like the Knicks and Magic. It felt like it was like their 10th game playing this season, by the way. Obviously, it's their third, but physical game from start to finish. And this Knicks team has shown you their adjustments. Went into halftime and made some adjustments and came out of that third quarter ready to rock and ready to roll. Fourth quarter, they just laid it on them. And it's honestly led by their leader, who thrives in these situations. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart thrive in these situations. They thrive in games like this. They love the physicality. They love it. They love it. And Brunson and Josh Hart with an absolutely incredible game from Josh Hart tonight. But we got dudes who thrive in these situations. The roommates pod. Josh Hart and Big Brody Brunson. They thrive when it gets ugly. And I love it that, we're starting to win these games in different ways. This Knicks team is looking tough right now. Appreciate every single one of you in here. Big Knicks win. Big Taz, what's going on? Salute. The Knicks took care of business. Go New York Knicks. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate every single one of you. Daniel in the chat. Joel, January Knicks are different. Just wait. Oh, man. Tony says, what's going on, Tony? Knicks defense second half was incredible. 31 points allowed to this Magic team. The Magic scored under 90 points in this game. And look, they're a tough team. When they're fully healthy, they want to be physical with teams. And they want to dare the NBA refs to call fouls. And, they're not going to, I think there was like 25 fouls in the first quarter or first half or something like that. It was crazy. And that's the Magic's game plan. They want the refs to, question, oh, should I call this? Should I not? Should I, ruin the game flow? That's their game plan. And right now they have to do that. But Magic are tough, but this Knicks team has some warriors that can combat that. And Brunson, like I said, thrives in these situations. And Josh Hart thrives in these situations as well. And both of them had amazing performances tonight. Amazing games tonight. Let me make this bigger. Let me get this bigger for you guys. All right, going back down. Sorry for the delay. Loud and clear. Yeah, buddy. Elizabeth says, what a game. Go Knicks. What's going on, everybody? 108-85. Mikal Bridges, again, steady, rock solid, lockdown defense. Nice steal there in the second half, fourth quarter, and just steady as can be. His consistency in the month of December just continues to be there for him and be there for the squad. But Brunson was really the catalyst. And most of the stats don't really show up in the box score, like 11 to 21, 26 points, 9 dimes for Jalen Brunson. Just incredible. Dishing the ball when he had to, and then scoring the ball when needed. When he had KCP guarding him, the Knicks got that mismatch a couple of times tonight. He was the red alert. The red alert button went on. The red light went on when the Knicks got that matchup. KCP couldn't guard him. I don't know what's going on with KCP in Orlando. He doesn't look like the same player, but Jalen Brunson was cooking him. 26-9 from our leader, Josh Hart, with incredible basketball game. He's such a oh man. I can't say enough good things about Josh Hart, but I'm sure you guys in the chat and those that love and enjoy watching him. He's a winning player, man. Just makes the winning plays. 23 points, 13 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 3 offensive boards, 8 of 10 from the free throw line on 7-11. Josh Hart. Shout out to Josh Hart for having an absolutely incredible game. Precious got in the game because of Karl-Anthony Towns foul trouble, which we'll touch on in a second. Landry Shamet, welcome back to the squad. Tom Thibodeau went to his 9-man rotation in the first half. Second half, he deviated from that. But Landry Shamet. Tom Thibodeau went to Shamet, and boy, oh boy, did Landry Shamet show everyone how valuable he could be. I even tweeted it that shout out to Landry Shamet for coming back from that injury. Let me pull up this tweet. Shout out to Landry Shamet for returning from that injury so quickly and making an impact. Look, the minutes that Landry Shamet had in the first half, I thought were excellent. Excellent. And that is huge for this Knicks team, especially with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges' minutes. I know Bridges played 44 minutes tonight, but having Landry Shamet back, going to that 9-man to give Anunoby an extra breather is huge for this team. And Shamet, like we've been saying all along, he was going to be in the rotation. He was. And now today, valuable minutes off that bench from Shamet. Came in, hit a 3 right off the gate. Nice defensive possession right off the gate, too. Shout out to Shamet, man. Shout out to Landry Shamet. All right, hit some of these comments. Dis Rover, shout out to JB. Getting a foul call against him. Get a need and then... Oh, man. Dis Rover says NBA refs. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, too. It's unbelievable. The calls made a few quarters so slow. Wow, but they stayed locked in. Yeah, this game had like a... Look, Magic are a gritty team. Magic are one of the teams that you kind of... Like, when they're fully healthy, you kind of like... Obviously, I'm not ducking from any smoke, but they're they're going to be a tough out, the Orlando Magic, when they're fully healthy. And obviously they're led by Jalen Suggs, who came out this game hot, couldn't miss, it seemed like, after hitting 2 threes versus Miami. And how many threes did he have tonight? I think he had 4. 4-6 from 3, 27 points from Jalen Suggs. But they're gritty, man. They're a tough, physical team. And you had Jonathan Isaac, Jalen Suggs just trying to punk the Knicks. Trying to. And like we all see, they thrive in those situations. The roommate boys, the roommates pod. If you try to be physical with them, they're going to answer back, especially JB. And it's teams could try it, but Jalen Brunson has the secret recipe to combat the physicality. And Josh Hart today was his side piece, and his play on the basketball court was incredible. The hustling, the rebounding, he picked up right where he left off from during the last game versus the San Antonio Spurs, where he had those 2 big offensive rebounds there at the end of the game. His career year continues. Wrench, what's going on? Appreciate you. Mike, what is up? This win was exciting because Thibs finally extended the rotation, and it showed that when we are healthy, we are going to be even more elite than we already are. Mike, appreciate you in the chat. Hope all is well. Yeah, Mike. Look, when he went to Landry Shamet, I was surprised, actually. I was surprised. But Shamet showed you dude can ball. Shamet can ball. And it is a first game of a back-to-back, so you have to factor that in. Knicks play tomorrow at Washington. So Thibodeau has shown you these back-to-backs, like these first games, especially the first leg of a back-to-back, he extends the rotation. So Shamet got in there, first couple of plays, impact. He's an impactful player. Yes, he's not, flashy, this and that, but he can extend the court. He can shoot threes. And defense, he's like okay. He's not like a slouch on defense. So just credit for Shamet for coming back from that injury, and credit to Diz for expanding the rotation, because one thing for sure, as we go back to this box score, OG Anunoby with 28 minutes tonight. And, first leg of a back-to-back, but OG Anunoby with 28 minutes tonight. Mikal Bridges with 44 minutes tonight. And the Knicks are monitoring Anunoby's minutes here. They have been. So you wonder, you hope all is well with Anunoby. First of all, 28 minutes. I know that like the flow of game, he had four fouls as well. The flow, they took him in and out the games and whatnot. But back-to-backs, they're watching his minutes, and as they should be, right? As they should be, because Anunoby is a major piece to this team, obviously. And yeah, so 20. Sorry, let me get that ad out your way. Sorry about that. Bridges 44 minutes, Anunoby 28, Towns 34, foul trouble, Brunson 37, Hart 38. But your bench, I thought, Campaign didn't play the second half besides the garbage minutes in the fourth quarter. Shamet played good in the first half, played garbage minutes in the fourth quarter. Precious was a major, key to the. I thought today would have been a good game for Jericho Sims. Bigger body down low, and plus the physicality, the Magic were trying to punk the Knicks. But Precious with some solid minutes, 3 offensive boards for Precious. So look, this Knicks team is showing you there are different ways that they can win, and I've been waiting for that. We have been waiting for that. It has been, if they don't shoot well, they don't win, right? That's what we've been saying. And this Knicks team today shot 4-15 from 3. That is 26%, 54% from the field, and they missed 10 free throws. And they won handily over this Magic team. So that is a good building block to build on. Now, the 10 missed free throws, you don't like to see that at all. But the Knicks have they've been okay in terms of free throw shooting this year. So I'm not concerned about that. But lately, they have been kind of like taking a step back in terms of free throws. But yeah, I mean, when you shoot, they only attempted 15 threes, but that's how the game was being dictated, right? The Magic, that's how the game was being dictated. And for this Knicks team to pull out such a great, gritty win, especially in that third quarter, I just love the way they answered, just answered the bell. And just, look, I know people are going to say, look, Magic are without this player, Magic are without that player. I'm already seeing it. Like, this Knicks run hasn't been impressive because of the teams that they've been playing, yada, yada, yada. I don't care, man. You play who's on your schedule, and this is what great teams do. They dominate their competition. Who is injured, who is, not good, they dominate. And 6 straight dubs for the squad. And this Knicks team is showing you different ways how they can win. Those are positive signs. And we can just build off of that. Build off of that. Oh, man. Mike says the champagne Deuce lineup is going to kill teams once Cam figures out he can pass to, and I think they need a little bit more time, but more time will for sure come. Yeah, Mike. Really impressed with Landry Shamet tonight. And look, I know if you look at the box score, it's like 10 minutes, 7 points, 2 steals, 1 rebound. Just impressive, man. In those 10 minutes, he managed to put up numbers. 7 points, 2 steals for Shamet. Quick pace, right? It's all about pace. And this second unit, they're quick. And Shamet was a big part of that. Thibodeau said he loved the way this second unit plays in terms of speed. And now when you add Shamet back in the mix, he runs. He's a gunner. And he's a quick release. He has a quick release. So coming off those curls, it just gives the Knicks a different dimension. Now, I know he's still a guard. He's, 6'4"? But still, you love the 2 steals tonight, and you just hope the Knicks can build off of this. And I think they will. So, Shamet, man. I'm truly excited to have him back on the squad. And I'm excited that Thibs went to him. I truly am. Truly am. Heart is the heart of this team. Let's go. Like I said, man, Brunson and Josh Hart thrive in these games. They thrive in these games. For Josh Hart to put up 23 and 13, and there was a possession where Anthony Black, number one. Look, these dudes are like fake tough guys, man. Number one. Anthony Black fouled Josh Hart hard, clean foul. Fouled him hard, but you know that Josh Hart loves that stuff, man. He just loves it, and we embrace it, and that's all you can ask for. When a team tries to punk you, like the Magic tried to do today, attacking Karl-Anthony Towns in that first half, pick and rolls, rim protection wasn't there with Cat, just trying to take him out the game, and they did. The foul trouble is still a problem with Cat. He's still not getting any calls from refs. So that's a problem. But when you have guys to, combat the Magic like the boys did today, just got to love it, man. Just got to love it. This Rover, we shot like absolutely crap all game, and we still won by 23. Unreal. And that goes back to me saying I wanted to see this Knicks team win in many different ways. And they're showing you they can do that. They're showing you there are different ways that they can win. It usually, 10 games ago, it was if they don't shoot well, they're pretty much not going to win. But today, 26%. 26% from 3. Brunson 0-2. Anunoby 0-1. Bridges 0-1. Cam 0-2. McBride 0-1. So they got to the foul line. They shot 34 free throws compared to the Magic's 12. Magic were hacking and whacking. That was they were hacking and whacking. Because that's what they're reverting to. They can't keep up in terms of scoring. Magic don't really have any good, they're out a bunch of people. They don't really play Cole Anthony, who's if you want to call him a scorer. KCP for them has been terrible. Suggs has been good all year, but Jalen Suggs, he plays with a different rule book. Just so annoying. It's one of those players where you hate to go against, but you would love to have him on your team. Just gets under your skin. Plays with different rules. Caught Cat there with a flagrant elbow. Cat was bleeding. It's one of those games, right? I was like, all right, these are how these guys want to play. They want to see how the Knicks are going to respond when they try to punk them, when they try to be physical with them. And the Knicks responded. And, for the most part, shout out to the rest for kind of settling these things down, the Magic down, and 34 free throws, man. And it could have been more, to be honest with you. But at that point, like I said earlier, you don't really want to call foul after foul after foul because it ruins the flow of the game. And, games would take forever at that point. But I thought the Knicks really answered the bell. And Jalen Brunson, man, when you poke him, when you poke the bear, when you try to be physical with him, he's going to respond. He responds every time. And Josh Hart was his partner today, who was, ultimately willed this Knicks team to a great win. And Bridges, going back to Bridges, just solid, man. I mean, it's just so consistent in the month of December. 17 points, efficient. Got to the free throw line. This is the most he's been to the free throw line. 6 free throw attempts tonight from Mikal Bridges, 5 or 6 from the free throw line. So you love to see that, because Bridges, if you want to point out one thing offensively, is that he hasn't been getting to the free throw line. And normally he is a good free throw shooter, 1. And 2, last year in Brooklyn, he got to the free throw line, I think, 5 times a game, 4 to 5 times a game. So you love to see that. The steals, the 2 steals. I mean, defense has hit a 180 here, man. That's what I'm really excited for. Had a nice, one-man fast break defensive possession in the second half for Bridges. And you just love to see that, man. It's just things like that, plays like that is what, get you excited. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Smash this like button. Subscribe to the channel. Come join us here in the chat. The New York Knicks take care of the Orlando Magic 108-85. JB with 26-9. Bridges 17-3. Josh Hart 23-13 rebounds. 3-0 against the Magic team. Coming into this game, you're like looking at the schedule. You're like, how many times have we played the Magic this year? It feels like the 10th time. But the Knicks are 3-0 against the Magic. They got another game tomorrow. It's a back-to-back at Washington in a doubleheader, which should be, hey, the winning streak can keep on. I don't want to, but the way this Knicks team is playing right now gives you high hopes that, more wins are on the horizon. Wild Boy Trey, what's going on? The roommates dominate. Loud and clear, Anthony Black is a scrub. Oh, man. Gotta love it, man. Joel, appreciate you in here, Joel. This Rover, shout out to him, Kale, with 2 back-to-back steals above the break in the 4th. That ish got me popping off. Mikal, man. Kel, I love that, man. Kel is damn sure, man. Offensively, consistent. Defensively, you're seeing that Defensive Player of the Year runner-up. You're seeing Wingstop. Wingstop has been open now, back in business. They're doing extremely well. Mikel's working the register. OG and Obi's in the back. They've just been taking turns, taking shifts, and that's before the season. This is what you wanted to see. Took a while, took a little bit to get here, but now you're seeing the defense that Mikal Bridges can bring. We got to get Cat with the around the rim protection has to improve a little bit, because that's where their Magic came into this game. That was their game plan, attacking Cat, pick and roll stuff around the rim. And the Knicks were really struggling to start this game. Look, Magic scored 29 points in the first, 25 in the second. And this goes back to my adjustment. And, credit to the squad for coming out that third quarter with, a sense of toughness. And look, we're not losing this game. But yeah, the Magic were attacking Cat, just trying to throw him off his game, try to get him in foul trouble. And look, Cat 16-8. It's not, the numbers that he's been putting up, but 16-8 on 6 of 10 shooting and 2 of 4 from 3 and 8 boards in 34 minutes. So, Chris, got to keep going against Washington. Don't let up. We got Washington back-to-back, then a revenge game against Utah, who I don't think have won a game since blowing us out a month ago. Wow. Yeah. Got to keep going, and I think this Knicks team can't keep going. Tony says Shamit plays good defense too. TA, let's go Knicks. Slow start but strong finish. Gotta love it. And man, it says every team wants to scrap with New York. The commentators be saying every Knicks game is street ball. And man, a part of me loves that. Like, a part of me likes that, because it brings out, kind of brings out the dark side of Brunson. And you're starting to see Josh Hart feed off of that. And teams, I don't know what it is. They just think that the Knicks are soft and, they can be out physical against us, and just try to, do their little shenanigans and hope that the referees won't call certain plays. And look, the refs were, it is what it is regarding that. But yeah, I mean, it's street ball. It's like 90s basketball. And few games this season, it's gotten like ugly. And I'm truly surprised that Josh Hart or Brunson didn't lose their cool tonight. One of them, or even Cat. Because you can see it start to boil. Like, you can see their frustration start to boil, especially Josh Hart. And I'm shocked that Hart didn't, retaliate. But credit to the guys, man. They didn't feed into that BS, man. They didn't feed into that crap. So, credit to the squad, man. Chris says that's the only thing left for Bridges to do is to begin to get to the line more frequently. Got to catch up on these comments here. OG always finds a way to help. If his shot is off, he brings the defense. Love OG and Anunoby. Knicks need to shoot their free throws better. Yes, they do. They do. I hope the team has energy tomorrow and don't play down to the Wizards. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be all right. The one thing is the way this Knicks team is playing right now. I don't think they'll let down against the Wizards, man. I think they're on a mission right now. They're 11 games over 500. They are 11-6 away from Madison Square Garden. You have Shamit back. You have Mikal playing like this. Brunson is feeding off the physicality. Cat, has to clean up the fouls. He does. But he's been solid. And Anunoby here defensively has been absolutely incredible. But Knicks are watching his minutes. Back-to-back games with 8 points for OG Anunoby. But you didn't really need him to score in this game. 4 of 8. Just one of those games where 3 turnovers for OG Anunoby, 5 rebounds. So, like we've been saying, right, it's pick your poison with this group. And these are the OG Anunoby game logs. No, why isn't this bigger? I don't know why this isn't working for me today. Sorry about that. But look, Anunoby, 28 minutes tonight, but defensively I thought was great, man. Obviously, he got matched up with, Victor Wembanyama last game and had a great assignment on that. Knicks made an adjustment. But, look, we've been talking about the adjustments, man. And credit to this Knicks team, credit to the coaching staff for making the adjustments at halftime. And if we go to these team stats, let me pull up your comments so I can see them. Look, if you're telling someone, the thing about this team, right? If you told me this morning without watching this game, the Knicks will shoot 26% from 3, 54% from the field, and miss 10 free throws, and only have 18 assists, I would probably say that, the Knicks lost. What happened? But that wasn't the case. The Magic shot terribly. 36% from the field, 30% from 3. Actually, a slight bit better than the Knicks, and 11-12 from the free throw line. But the Knicks out-rebounded them, and the Magic had 13 more shots than the Knicks. 13 more shots. I know it was the free throws that kind of dictated this game, but different ways. They're finding different ways to win is where I'm trying to get at. And that's what makes this team dangerous. 60 points in the paint for the squad. Brunson, every time he had KCP, the Knicks were attacking that matchup. It was night-night, man. Night-night termite. 3 technicals for the Magic. Largest lead for the game was 24 for the Knicks. Only 18 assists, 12 offensive rebounding. So this Knicks team is starting to roll, man. This Knicks team is starting to roll. Don't say that, TA. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't speak that into existence. This Rover, I love how the second we hit number 1 free throw percentage in the league with everybody talking. Yeah, we immediately miss all of our free throws right when we get to number 1 in the NBA. So, yeah. Josh Hart is our real-life crash out. Tony bringing the defensive stats. We are 13th in defensive rating. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? And I was listening to the Windhorse podcast today, and I forgot his name. Tim Bontemps was like, look, their defense has improved because of their opponents who they've been playing. That has a major part to do with it. Okay, even if it has a slither to do with it, you can't tell me you're not watching these games and you see improvement. Interior presence has to improve. Mitch was seen there at the bench, on the bench, traveling with the team. Update, I think Tom Thibodeau gave an update today saying that his next steps is to run. So, look, I give it another month until Mitch Robinson comes back. But you're seeing the wings, the wing, our two elite wings are playing like two elite wings. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges defensively, that's tough for an opponent for opponents. Those two right now are playing at such high levels defensively that has propelled this Knicks team into, 13th in defensive rating? Depending where you look at it. They can easily get into the top 10. They can. And when you have such a strong offense like this Knicks team does, Brunson can drop 40. Two players in your start, 3 players in your starting lineup has dropped 40 already. Anunoby, 40 versus Denver. Mikal, 40 versus San Antonio. Cat he had 40 twice. I think he had 46 against Chicago and 42 against Miami. Brunson had 39. So lethal, right? And Josh Hart, he's not going to score 40, but he doesn't need to. He can give you what he gave you tonight, 23 and 13 on 2 blocks, 2 steals. Impactful stuff. Just impactful stuff. Winning plays. Winning player. Love Josh Hart, man. I think I've said that like 1,000 times, but it's true. Shout out to Leon. Another great trade. Man. But yeah, going back to the defense, it has improved. Mikal has looked like that lockdown defensive player. And that has propelled the Knicks into being, instead of 22, 23 defensive rating, they have jumped 10 spots? Come on now. Come on now. First game, I got to admit that the refs gave us the calls on the road. Why do we start badly? Eddie says in the chat, what's going on, Eddie? I think I saw on Twitter, if the Knicks, if NBA games were 5 minutes long, the Knicks would have a losing record. Yeah, they start slow. The thing about the slow starts is I think they gauge how the opposing team is going to play them that night. That's why. This Knicks team is so good that they were down in the first quarter. Even, some parts of the second quarter, you were kind of questioning, okay, when is this Knicks team going to turn it on? But the slow starts have to do with this Knicks team gauging and a feel that they want to get a feel for the basketball game that they're playing in. And once they get a feel of how it's being called, number one, how the opposing team is playing, number two, that's when they turn it up. That's when your leader turns it up, whether it's JB, whether it's Cat, whether it's OG, Mikal, that's when they turn it up. And, they held the Magic to 14 third quarter points, man. That's tough, man. 14 and 17 fourth quarter points. 85 total points. In today's age, and I know the Magic are terrible in terms of shooting the three, but still. That's great, man. That's great. Monkey, Wrench. We will be legit championship contenders. It's coming. It's coming. We're knocking at that door. We're knocking at that door. 21-10, 6 in a row. Road Warriors are back. We're knocking at the door for sure. We're definitely knocking at the door. And I love what I saw from Shamet today. Because if you wanted to point one thing out, it's the depth, right? People point to the depth, and it's a valid point. But Shamet today came in and gave you solid minutes. McBride, 5 points today, but 3 assists, 5 rebounds, contributing in other facets of the basketball game, right? 2 offensive rebounds from McBride, 5 points, 3 or 4 from the free throw line. Contributions. But Shamet, incredible minutes. Precious, just doing his thing, man. You don't need him to do too much offensively. You need him to be great, defender, protecting the paint. 1 block today for Precious. Thought he played well. And yeah, obviously the big fish is Mitch, but depth has been, that's what the outsiders point to, and that's what Knicks fans point to as well. And it's a valid. I'm not saying it's not a valid argument, right? If you were like I don't know, let's say you were like a fan of another team, or like just a casual fan and not really follow the Knicks like we do, you would say that their starting 5 can be elite and can drop 40 on you on any given night, but you're worried about their depth. But right now, the way this Knicks team is playing, how can you be worried about anything, right? How can you be worried? And I said it, I still do think there is a level that they can get to. I still don't even think that they have hit their peak yet, believe it or not. So, Nick Yak, what's going on, Nick Yak? Brunson looked like a star to me. Defense got better when Precious got back. What's going on, Nick Yak? Brunson, man, superstar, answering the bell, answering the physicality that the Magic were trying to bring. Jalen Suggs plays with different rules. Flagrant foul here. Brunson got kicked in the, man areas. So, yeah. Just physical game from the Magic. Josh can score 15 and then have the same impact of a player that put up 40. Yes, man. I love that. Josh can score 15 points and have the same impact on the game as a player who scores 40. And we saw that versus Spurs, right? Mikal, amazing. Best game as a Knick. Shut the doubters up. Defensively was great. But Josh Hart with the winning plays at the end, diving on the floor, offensive rebounding, those plays, and today with the scoring and him answering the bell. And you know how Josh Hart is, man. I think he leads the Knicks in texts, so he's not afraid to argue with referees or argue with players. Even his teammates, he's not afraid. And you love that. You got to have that on your team. And Josh Hart, cool, calm, and collected today. Kept his composure and dropped a 23 and 13 on them. Dropped a 23 and 13. Tony says 18 points from the bench. That has to get better. Tony says in the chat. Look, the thing I love, though, Tony, is that we saw positive things from Shamet, right? And they can build off of that. And hopefully he can get implemented back in the, with the bench. But don't get me wrong, that is going to be an area where, Leon Rose and this Knicks front office is going to be looking at all of their options. But I'm sure they're going to want to see Shamet in there, and they're damn sure going to want to see how this team is with Mitchell Robinson back in the fold. So the bench right now, if you were to give me the thing is, this Knicks team is 21 and 10, right? They won 6 in a row. And their bench has kind of been, look, I think Campaign had a good game, a great game a few games ago. I think 19 points. Who was that against? The Raptors. But other than that, he's been, 5 minutes versus Spurs, 6 minutes versus Orlando, for 6 minutes tonight. And one thing about Thibs, we've been talking about it, is I don't his second half substitutions are different than his first half. And, but I thought the way this game was being played, the way Brunson was answering the bell, he saw Brunson just kind of take the lead and, didn't play Payne. But I think the bench, they're okay. They can improve, but they're okay. This Knicks team is rolling with their bench really not, playing well. But Precious has come in here they've gotten their reinforcements back. Precious was out. He's back. And having Precious is huge now that Karl-Anthony Towns has been getting into foul trouble. Cat is starting to, get into foul trouble these last few games. 3 straight games pretty much, right? Pelicans game, Spurs game, and tonight. And the ticky-tack stuff that is called against him and is not called on him is confusing to me. But whatever it is, it's a stigma that has been following him his whole career, the foul trouble. And look, you still have Sims on the bench. Precious has come in here and stepped up. But in a playoff series, you got to clean that up, right? You got to clean the foul trouble up. Our best player cannot get into foul trouble. One of our best players cannot get into foul trouble, and especially in a playoff series. That's going to be something to look at. But we cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully he can improve on that. But, I mean, there was a play today where he got draped across their arm, and they didn't call it. And I'm just looking at them like, bro, what is going on here? I don't know if he has, like, do the refs hate this man? I don't know. Champagne chemistry. Landry Shamet's strong drive to the hoop. And this play gives me confidence that Shamet feels good about his shoulder, because him drive, look, he could have came back and just been a spot-up shooter. But no. His opponent knows that he wants to shoot the ball, got his opponent to leave his feet, driving to the basket. Strong take from Landry Shamet. Just going through some highlights tonight. Another splash from Landry Shamet. Gotta love that from Shamet. Landry Shamet and a JB, our captain, our leader, dropping some dimes. Man, oh man. Does it all out there, right? And the thing about his mid-range is really not falling for him. Jalen Brunson's mid-range shot, really not falling from him. And here, Jalen Suggs is just different. Big body Brunson, man. They could have called this a foul. They could have called this play a foul right here. Big body Brunson. Flexing at the ref. It's a leader. Then here's a defensive play from Mr. Mikal Bridges. The defensive player, runner-up. Is he back? He's looking good. He's looking good. He's looking really good out there. And that is what makes this team dangerous, is when Mikal Bridges is playing like that, that's the X factor. That's what brings us over the top. And when Anunoby, he's been struggling a little bit, back-to-back games with his shot, but had that big game versus Toronto. When he has a big blow-up game, it's lights out for this team. But, yeah. Love it. Great seeing Mitch on the bench traveling with the team. That's when you know he's getting there. Loud and clear. That's when you know he's getting there. Amanda says depth bench points will always be skewed low if the starters are playing most of the game. Yes, Amanda, great point. Look, Mikal, 44 minutes tonight. Starters are playing majority of the game. And in a playoff series, you know the starters are going to be playing majority of the game. 40-plus minutes. But the reality is it is December. January's next week. 2025 already. It's crazy. But love that Shamet is back in the fold. And you love that Mitchell Robinson is getting close. That will improve your bench tremendously. And that's what gives me hope that this bench will improve over time. Billy Bill, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. That gives me hope that this bench will improve. And when you mix that in with the starters, Iron Man, Mikal, I know you don't want to really wear him out, though. Anunoby, Cat, I feel good about where we're at. I do. I feel good about where we're at as a unit, as a team. I do. But obviously, Leon and the front office will do their due diligence come trading deadline. But right now, the way this Knicks team is playing, it's awesome. And will you trade Mitch Kolek for Trey Murphy? Mitch, Tyler Kolek for Trey Murphy. I like Trey Murphy. But why would the Pelicans? He's on the Pelicans, right? Why would the Pelicans do that? I don't know. The thing about this Knicks team, right? There's times when I think that they've given themselves, like Tyler Kolek, right? You can say like he could be playing, right? So they've given themselves options. They've given themselves options on the bench to pair a couple of guys and to go out and get another wing, to go out and get another, 6'8", 6'9" guy off that bench. They've given themselves options. You trade a couple of guards, you trade a guard off the bench, Kolek can step in. So they've given themselves options. But obviously it's too early for that talk. But, as the time approaches, that's, that this front office has done wonders, man. They're always one step ahead, and they're always scouring the market. They're always looking to improve. They're not waiting. One thing I know is if Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau think that they're one piece away off the bench to go out and win a championship, or if they think that this current unit with Mitch off the bench and with Shamet can do it, they're going to keep it. They're going to keep this unit in place. So I trust them. I think Brunson is going to explode in the playoffs. Tony, like he always does, man. Like he always does. Hukporti Sims, I feel, will be traded by the deadline. Definitely not Hukporti, Tony. Sims' name has definitely been in rumors, but we just have to, watch that. Swatted the ball like a mosquito, waking you up in the middle of the night during summertime, man. Yeah. I want our rookies to stay here. They're good. They just need some experience. Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. How this Knicks team has given themselves, options. But this Knicks team is rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Standings. Boston won tonight. So the Knicks are 21-10. They are still 2 games behind the Boston Celtics. So for second place, Cleveland is 26-4, man. Absolutely ridiculous the way they're playing right now. But they're playing well, and just got to give them their respect. But as us Knicks fans know, I'm not really worried about Cleveland. But look, right now, if the season ended today, which it doesn't, it's super early, you would have the Knicks and Heat, right? I think we played 3-6, and Magic and Bucks. So look, it's still ways to go, but you're 8-2 in your last 10, 6 in a row, and you're winning on the road, and you're winning at home. These numbers are not skewed. It's not like you're 12-2 in MSG and you're, close to 500 away from Madison Square Garden. The Road Warriors are back. You're 11-6, and at home you're taking care of business as well. And you're winning in different ways. Spurs game, gritty win. Hustle plays. Tonight, locked in second half, especially in that third quarter, you got it done. So, but yeah, man, I mean, the East right now, it's just, look, Magic, I know they're dealing with injuries, but they've beaten some tough teams. Didn't they beat the Celtics a couple of days ago? The Magic? Yeah. Beat the Celtics a couple of days ago. So even with all their shenanigans, and they play tough, man. They play tough. They're like one of those teams that you don't want to see in a playoff series. You don't want to see in a 7-game series because of how they play. But tonight, you're 3-0 against them on the season. So you shouldn't be ducking from any smoke, but they're going to be a tough out for sure. Heat, Jimmy Butler. I saw some Jimmy Butler trade talk in the chat. He wants to be traded. Don't know with that situation. The Milwaukee Bucks, obviously with Giannis Antetokounmpo, will always be a tough beat. But right now, you just have to control what you can control. And this Knicks team is doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, look at all of these green W's on this schedule. Look at all of this. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight. Truly, you started the season 5-6. And since that point, you've gotten all the way to 11 games over 500. You are 21-10. It's incredible what this Knicks team is accomplishing right now. 21-10 from a 5-6 start. So, look, some great wins in there at Phoenix. So, if they want to say these are against bottom echelon teams in this league, I don't care. I really don't, man. You play who's on your schedule, man. We had a gauntlet first 10 games to start this season. But right now, what this Knicks team is showing you is that they're clicking. And I don't care if that's against, Toronto twice. I don't care. You're playing who's on your schedule. You beat up on these teams. You dominate. Every win counts the same. I don't care. At the end of the season, if you finish second or, third or first, these wins are a huge part of your finish. So I don't care if people say that, this Knicks team is these Knicks are just beating these bottom dwellers. I don't care. It's the way this Knicks team is playing right now. Is there room? Are there room? The thing is there room to improve? Yes. Like the cat rim protection has to improve. That's kind of been, improving a little bit lately, but teams are starting to, attack it more, pick and roll stuff. But these next 3 games, guys, at Washington versus Utah. This Knicks team can very well go from 6 straight to 9 straight. Very well. 6 to 9 straight. And then if you do that, you're 24-10 with the marquee matchup against OKC, which should be a doozy. Rolling, man. You're rolling. Then you got Orlando again. How many times are we going to play Orlando? Jeez Louise. I feel like we played them boys like 10 times already. Sheesh. I know we had the game versus them, 2 weeks ago because of the NBA Cup, so they added that game. So that makes it feel like we're playing them a lot, but gosh damn, play them again. And they should have Paolo back by this time. So, look, take care of business. You win these next 3. You go to OKC. You stick it to them. The way this Knicks team is playing right now, they can beat anyone on the schedule. Anyone. The way they're playing right now. Here's some of these comments. Appreciate to see you guys in the chat. I hope Mitch can stay healthy. I feel like he's the key piece for our bench, Tony says. Tony, I agree. Truly do. He's a rim protector. And, one area where this Knicks team can improve, rim protection. And Mitch, hello. Welcome back. Thank you for improving our defense. Thank you for, helping out on the offensive glass. And what you're seeing is JB hit another gear in terms of assisting the rock, assisting the ball. And hopefully he can, find Mitch on lobs and whatnot. But, yeah. The Cavs been together for the last 3 years, so they are a lot better than the last 2 years. They are. I'm more afraid of Boston compared to Cleveland. This Rover, of course. Boston is still the cream of the top. Boston is still your elite of elites, right? And that's the team you worry about. That's the only team I worry about, honestly. Truly. And that's not me sounding arrogant. I know we can get got. Anyone can get got on any moment. Injuries happen and whatnot. But I will respect our opponent, though. I will. Cavs have a deep bench, but we have the better team. Yeah. Look, Cavs, what they're doing right now is crazy, man. 21. Look, they're number 1 in the East, and that's not by, that's not by design. I mean, it's just 26-4. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They're playing insane. But when do we play the Cavs again? When do we play the Cavs and when do we play Boston again? Damn, we don't play them in January. Man. February 8th versus Boston, Saturday game. That's the next time we play Boston. And that's trading deadline time, too. That should be fun. I think the trading deadline is that week. That's the next time we play Boston. Damn, man. We played Boston the first game of the year. And we played Orlando 4 times already. Sheesh. I'm not complaining, though. Get your team. The way this Knicks team is playing right now, you want to see how they compare to Boston compared to the first game of the season. I know it's night and day already, but that's going to be a litmus test. And then at Cleveland, February 21st is going to be another litmus test. And then at Cleveland, at Boston, back-to-back. So, the schedule gets tougher in March and April. But right now, you just control what you can control. Boys are playing well. Mikal just is playing consistently. Brunson feeds off of the physicality, and Josh Hart, man. Josh Hart. All right, let's go to my notes. So tonight, this Knicks team, go to my notes really quick. This Knicks team had 3 turnovers off inbounding the basketball. I was going crazy a little bit. And those are off timeouts as well. I think Mikal, Deuce McBride had a turnover off an inbound, offensive foul. I think Mikal got one. Got to clean that up. Don't want to see that because one thing that was hurting the Knicks last year was inbounding the basketball, especially in playoff situations, in playoff series, excuse me. Got to clean that up. You don't want to see that. And the Knicks have been fairly good regarding that. Karl-Anthony Towns foul trouble. Got to clean it up a little bit. Just the way he's being called, I still don't like it, but there's nothing we can do about it. Second half adjustments, amazing for the squad, and hopefully they can build off of that, and they have been 6 in a row for the squad. Hit some of these comments before I head up on out of here. Tony says, hey, Chad, I got a question. Give me 2 lineups you will like with a healthy Mitch starting and off the bench. Knicks versus OKC will be a great finals. 2 lineups with Mitchell Robinson in it. Obviously, I would want to see Mitch and Cat. So that would put Anunoby back at the 3, Bridges at the 2, and Brunson at the 1. So puts everyone back into their place. I for sure want to see that lineup, and I think we will a lot. And I also want to see Mitch. You're going to see Mitch and Precious in there a lot. But you're going to see majority of the time with Mitch and Cat. Obviously, there's going to be lineups where Thibodeau tinkers with, and Mitch is going to be playing with the bench, and they're going to be running fast and catching Mitch on lobs. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm excited for his return for sure. But yeah, guys, 6 in a row. Shout out to the squad. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the thumbs up button. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. I'll catch you guys next time. As always, let's go Knicks. Peace.